Deep down in the depths of the World Wide Web lies a parlor of peace, positivity, and a little pinch of enchantment. It's a place where you can kick back and have fun, back to a time when TV was magical. Close your eyes and you'll find your way there. You've made it. Welcome to TN Telly. And now that crazy singing Zen priestess cat lady cook, the Willy Wonka to your Charlie, come on in and say hello to Maria.
Well, hello, everybody. It's so good to see you. Guess what? Here I am again. I know. Don't adjust your TV, your computer. It is me. I am here again with you. It's so good to see you guys. Look at you, all excited and ready to go. I am too, and I am trying to pretend like I'm not melting. You guys have to be too, so you have to bear with me because it is rough. So excuse me while I melt here with you guys. And let me say hello to you all, so we can get our guests on. First of all, hey there, PJ, always the first to come and the first to go, aren't you? But here you are. Thank you so much for being here because I know where you are. It is late for you, and you're going to turn into a pumpkin soon. So I'll have to say what it was. Thank you so much for showing love. And I don't know what that is. You're hiding from me, but okay. You are ready for the pets. We got all the dogs up there, and yes, great topic. I'm so excited about this. As you know, some of you know from my previous streams and videos that this is something close to my heart anyway. And hello to you. Thank you so much. And then yeah, Peter can you know that was all. Connie, good to see you. Lovely to see you, and your beautiful little baby there as well. Tom, oh, good to see you, and always good to see you there. Wait, did you bring donuts? Oh my God, you brought donuts and coffee. Thank you. Thank you, God. And hello, Miss Linda. How is good to see you? It's been a long time. Thank you so much for showing up here, and Daryl, always good to see you. Thank you so much for showing up, and everybody else will shuffle in soon because y'all are getting used to my Thursday stream. So thank you so much. I am talking fast because I don't want to keep my guests waiting too long. So let me bring them on here so we can get started because I'm excited for the show today. Thank you so much for joining me. Hello, Diane, and good to see you both. Timing is perfect. You all came together. I love this. Thank you so much.
Well, we're excited to be here, Maria. Keep that fan going so you can get yourself. It's hot over there. So we're on 110 here, but it's a dry heat, right?
Yeah, I was feeling shameful for feeling hot at 90 when she's at 110, and she's like a pro over there. And I'm like, water, air.
Definitely water. Oh my gosh, we're so excited to get to know you. The last few conversations I've had with you, you are just a delight, and I can't wait to meet some of the people in your audience and your followers. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started if that's okay with you.
I was going to say introduce yourselves. I'm horrible at doing that part, but because your house is my house, and so. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Nice. Okay. Well, I'm Diana, and this is Kristen, and we are both certified in pet nutrition. We're both pet parents, and I've been in the pet industry for well over 37 years. We have studied nutrition. We have studied general health for pets and for humans. I will do a disclaimer. We are not veterinarians. We are not medical professionals. We work with a holistic vet very closely, though. And what we're here to do today is talk about what's going on with our fur babies. Today, we're here to talk about pets and pet parents' health. We're very involved with the Coriellus versicolor mushroom. It has PSP and PSK for pets and parents too. And it is our flagship product. And we're going to talk about our product line in a little bit. But I know how much Mr. Muffin means to you. And we understand that most of your listeners are animal lovers also. So what's not to love, right? Animals, we all love them. And so we're going to talk a little bit about mushrooms. And I have a pup that I love with all my heart. We wanted to keep this dog around forever, even though he's a hot mess and he's a little bit of a troublemaker. But I'll tell you, 2018, Kristen called me and she said, if you would like to be part of something big, a mission, something that is bigger than anything we could imagine, you need to look at what we're doing. And it's all about taking money that's been misdirected through big pharma and the pet industry and putting it back into the pockets of the people. It's all about, we're on a mushroom mission, we're on a mineral mission, we're on a nutritional mission to speak for those that don't have a voice for themselves. We're doing it through a very simple process of a mushroom. And this mushroom is simple because all it does is support the immune system. And as we learned during COVID how important our immune systems are, it's exactly the same with our animals. If their immune systems are working perfectly, everything else just falls into place. God created us perfectly. He created our immune system perfectly, but it's been compromised. How has it been compromised? Well, where is your dog's nose all the time? In the ground. What's in the ground? Insecticides, Roundup, pesticides, so many things. So we are in the process of getting the word out. That's what we're all about. So I'm going to turn it over to Kristen. She's going to talk a little bit about the immune system, a little bit about our mushroom products, and we're going to go back and forth a little bit here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure like many of the people that are part of your community, we're just really, really tired of watching our pets get sick at younger ages. We're seeing more pets dying, living half as long. We're frustrated because more of our pets are getting allergies and diabetes and arthritis and cancers and tumors. And so watching all of that happen, we were like, well, we can just be upset about it or we can do something about it. So we decided to do something about it. And like Diana said, be a voice for those that didn't have one for themselves. And we all know how powerful the immune system is and what it's capable of once it just has the natural support that it deserves. It was intelligently designed and it is perfectly equipped to handle infections, viruses, the most catastrophic things. It regulates hormones, it repairs and recovers parts of the body. The immune system can do all of these wonderful things. And so what we did was we found this pure strain of the Coriolis versicolor mushroom that is also extracted in a really potent way. And there are over 400 studies that have been done on this mushroom that have been published from the top organizations in the world like MD Anderson Cancer Center, Harvard University, Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. I can go on and on and on. And what they all found was that this mushroom supports the immune system. And then the immune system then is what's able to go and course correct everything that happens in the body. And there's such a good documentary called Fantastic Fungi. I don't know if you've heard, have you seen it?
Yes, I love it.
Oh, it blew me away. So when it's talking about the mycelial network and you see all of the little impulses going through the little network, how the whole earth is connected and communicating with each other through this mycelial network, it's so beautiful and it's so mind-blowing. And so what we do is we get this mushroom from the mycelial stage into the body for your pets and even for people. And it communicates with the body and it helps the immune system to do what it was designed to do. And it's so, so powerful. So like Diana said, it is important when you are taking any type of mushrooms. There are so many people that are understanding the benefits of mushrooms and really understanding the power of them. And so everywhere I look on social media, I see mushroom ads, mushroom drinks, mushroom capsules, mushroom powder, like mushroom everything. And because a lot of companies are trying to kind of jump on the bandwagon and ride the wave while it's happening, unfortunately, they're not as concerned with the type of products that they're giving people and the efficacy of it. And so it's so important that you make sure that all of the polysaccharides are in the mushroom supplement. You want the PSP and the PSK both to be in there because the research shows that those polysaccharides together is what wakes up the immune system to better recognize the cancer cells and to recruit the natural killer cells. And so it's so important that you have all of that working in your favor so your body can do what it was designed to do. So what we decided to do with our company, Pet Club 24/7, is create fun ways to get this mushroom supplement into your pet system. Because I don't know, Maria, have you ever tried to give Mr. Muffin like a pill or a capsule?
Lord, no. I
It
take
is
him to the vet, but I'm like, you go ahead.
Yeah, right. You have to you get them to finally take it, and then they spit it out, and then you're like, I gotta start all over.
Yeah,
So,
you waste it.
yeah, exactly. So we bake it into dog biscuits called the Mush Puppies. We have a handmade gravy, which is one of my favorite things, called the Super Sauce, and that's available. We have that for both dogs and cats. And it has additional vitamins and minerals and antioxidants in it. You just mix in a little bit with their food, and it's delicious for them, and it gets all that goodness into their bodies. We have little pieces of hand-cut beef liver called the Mojos. And we add the mushroom to that. That's great for all carnivores. And we also bake it into horse cakes for horses called the Mush Ponies. And what we've seen, Maria, is so amazing. It's such a blessing to watch, especially these animals that are in hospice, that they were told there's nothing more that we can do, or the poor parents couldn't afford the surgeries or the treatments that was being required. And then when we got this mushroom into their system and their bodies know how to process natural things, they don't know how to process unnatural stuff, which is what is a lot of the foods and treats and toys that we're giving them has synthetic everything in it.
Right.
And their bodies don't know how to process it. And that's what's creating a lot of these problems. And so they know how to process natural whole foods. So we just put the supplements and put it with the other natural whole foods. And within about a week or so, people are noticing such a positive difference in their pets. And so we encourage people, like, they'll ask us, will it help with this specific issue or that specific issue? And the answer is the immune system is equipped to handle almost everything that's happening in the body. So we say just get it into their system and watch their immune system work optimally and see what it's capable of doing. You see Daryl's dogs were having mobility issues, and you just get them on natural products and you see massive improvements, and it happens so quickly. Like he said, just within a week or so, people notice positive differences.
And all of our products have glucosamine, chondroitin, keratin in them. So that's also going to help with mobility, and it's going to help with their joint issues. And I know one of the things we're most proud of is that everything is sourced right here in the United States. And we bake everything in human grade kitchens, no wheat, no soy, no corn, no preservatives, nothing that is harmful for our animals. But we also have a pretty exciting human line too, which we'll touch on briefly.
Yeah, because a lot of people were watching what was happening with their dogs and their cats and their horses, and animals don't know what a placebo is. Like, they have no clue that there's a mushroom in the cookie that they're eating. It's like it either works or it doesn't. Yeah. So they're watching all these improvements and they're like, wait a minute, like, I have an autoimmune disease, I have diabetes, I have cancer, or whatever it might be, right? And so they were like, well, where can we get the same strain for humans? And so we did create a human section of the website where we do have options for people that want to get that additional immune support. We have the Enforce capsules that actually have a powder inside, so you can pop it open. And even if you have a pet with a special diet, you can mix this powder in with their food and get it into their systems that way. We have the Enforce Plus, which is the Coriolis versicolor mushroom, and it has a little bit of the reishi mushroom too. So that is an alkalinizing mushroom that can help with blood sugar levels. It helps to support blood pressure levels, especially if you live in a big city. There's so much radiation in the cities, and it's thickening people's blood. And so this is a great option if you live in a big city. This is what I take. It's helping people that maybe get headaches a lot because of that. It can help with that, along with a bunch of water. And it also helps with inflammation and sleep improvement. We have a lot of people with sleep apnea that notice improvements when they start getting those mushrooms into their system. And we also have the Enforce Restore. This is the maitake mushroom, and this is really helpful for liver and pancreas support specifically. We have the Enforce Clarity, which is the lion's mane mushroom, and this is amazing. This has been really helpful for like nerve and brain support, so dementia, Alzheimer's, neuropathy, Parkinson's, which those numbers have been up through the roof lately on the rise in those different conditions. And so we're finding a lot of relief and amazing things happening when people get this lion's mane mushroom into their system. Also really helpful for like stomach and colon support, even weight loss. My mom has lost over 60 pounds. Our friend Kurt has lost over 70 pounds. And that's because they had gut issues. That's what was creating the weight gain. And so when they started addressing the gut issues, then the weight started falling off. And it also remaps your brain a little bit and changes the way that you think about food, which is cool. Yeah. And if you do have kids that don't like to take pills or capsules, or if you don't like taking capsules, we also have some little chocolate chip cookies that we bake the mushroom into that are really, really delicious and helpful. A lot of grandparents get those for their grandkids. And we just reintroduced our new Enforce gummies, which are 100% natural. That's really important because a lot of the children's gummies still have the artificial dyes in them. They still have all the synthetic fillers, corn starch and corn syrup, and they're supposed to be healthy vitamins, and they're not healthy at all. So this is our response to that, is let's get some good stuff that's going to support their immune system. But we can go on and on and on. I know everybody says that their products are the best in the world. It makes sense. But the countless testimonials that we have, the hundreds of studies that have been done, it is so heartwarming and encouraging to know that there are options that can really help animals, that can really help people. And it's a fraction of the cost. It's so much more affordable. It's so much more effective. So our heart is just to educate people, let them know what's out there and what's available for them, and just give them access to it.
Absolutely. And that's why I wanted to come on here, because I actually work the opposite way. I went to where I was telling them what it does to us as people, and then kind of went back like, oh my gosh, that's right. We can do that for the pets. And instead, because I've seen evidence myself, which is what I was saying, I was doing videos on mushrooms and things like that. Certain combinations of them, telling people which ones to take. Don't take the ones that have like 15 mushrooms in them, because it's so minute each one, and it's just like it take you forever to see anything. You want it concentrated. You only want the best of the few, which is the lion's mane and the reishi. I take the liquid reishi. And, so I've noticed it. I use it. I take a collagen for the anti-aging, because we all know how old I'm going to be. So collagen with mushroom, and I have fibromyalgia, so I don't have, let me reiterate that. Sorry, PJ. I don't have it. I don't suffer from it as much, actually. I used to get flare-ups at least 3 to 4 times a week, to where I couldn't move or anything. And now I only get them once in a big while. And headaches also. And my mom was starting to get a little bit forgetful, and she's tiny, but she's like, I'm getting a belly. So I started her on the mushrooms, and her belly went away. and she got her balance and everything back. And Dr. O, who's backstage, helped me now. It is a testament to what happened to him when I said, get on mushrooms. So for me, I was preaching it for people's health, because it just does unbelievable things. And I wanted to help people that had Parkinson's and all these other things. But the thing of it is that people tend to forget their pets in the way that, I've been preaching to people, feed them good food, because when you give them the bad food, then it's the same thing as if you're going to eat bad food every day. You're not going to like it. Your stomach's going to feel horrible. You might want to vomit all the time. And that's why they're vomiting all the time. So you feed them good food, but then incorporate some vitamins, just like you take, to keep them from going to the vet, And I think Dr. O had asked me something, or we had talked about something earlier. I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but I do want to ask you something about that. Let me just grab this real quick. PJ,
I'll go ahead real quick and tell you my story, Maria, because I know we had talked earlier that we wanted to share this. So in 2020, I was diagnosed with cancer, colon cancer. I had a tumor that was getting ready to breach the colon wall. It could kill me. It was at a time when everything was shut down. They were not doing surgeries. I had nothing in my toolbox except my faith and this mushroom. We normally recommend for humans 1 capsule per 50 pounds of body weight. I tripled that. I took 10 a day. 30 days later, I was approved for surgery, and I went in for my blood work and got a call 24 hours later from the oncology department that they wanted to do a video conference with me immediately. And there was my doctor with a big smile on his face, and he said, "What are you doing?" And I thought, what a weird question. I'm packing a bag to go to the hospital. I'm saying goodbye to my dog. I'm, writing out a will. I'm doing all the things you do when you're getting ready to go in for surgery and you have a catastrophic condition. He said, "Diana, you're in remission." And I'll never forget those words because I knew they were good, but I really didn't know what they meant. Every cancer has a marker. And my marker, I was off the charts. 2.5 was healthy. And at that point, my marker had gone down to 0.5.
Wow.
There for 4.5 years. Now, I only did one thing, and that was the mushroom. I did have surgery. I did have part of my colon removed. I did have the tumor removed, and I did 6 months of hard chemotherapy because the cancer that I had was incredibly aggressive. I will say, the numbers were really clear. People who had done chemotherapy only had a 10% chance of reoccurrence. People who hadn't done it had a 40% chance.
So even though she was in remission, they were saying there's a chance it could come back.
A 40% chance. That's a pretty big number. And literally during chemotherapy, because of the studies that have come out by Sloan Kettering and some of the major institutes about how the Coriellus versicolor mushroom actually supports the body through chemo. Yeah. It complements chemotherapy. So as chemotherapy was destroying every healthy cell in my body was rebuilding them as fast as it could because of the immune support that the Coriellus versicolor had given it. But even better than that, my bone density, which gets destroyed during chemo, I went into this whole journey full-on osteoporosis. I came out no longer osteoporosis. Go figure. I never threw up once during chemo. I did not lose my hair. In all fairness, the drug I had only had a 50% chance of hair loss, but a 100% chance of hair thinning. My hair didn't thin. I literally came out of this journey better than I went into it. And I know it was because I gave my immune system the support that it needed to do the job that it's supposed to do. So, Big Pharma does not like this mushroom. It cannot make it. It cannot synthesize it,
patent it,
because it's a pure botanical. And so, I think it's really important that we understand that in 1970, our dogs, they, like a golden retriever, lived until it was 17. Now we can't even get our dogs at Goldens to 10, 12. The diabetes is up. When we were kids, Maria, did you know a dog with cancer or diabetes or allergies? It's horrible. Diabetes is up 80% in the last 10 years. 50% of all dogs that die in the veterinarian's office die of cancer. And unfortunately, a lot of times that's after they've gone through thousands of dollars of chemotherapy, of treatments, of surgeries. It's horrific what's happening. If we can just understand, we love our veterinarians. We need our veterinarians. And Kristen's going to talk about nutrition after you make your next point. But one of the things that we know is that veterinarians make 34% of their money off of pharmaceuticals. And the pharmaceuticals are not natural. And they're hard on the kidneys. And they're hard on the liver. And so basically we're fixing this problem. And we're creating these problems, just like in humans. So we want to talk about mineral health and nutrition, but go ahead. You had some other things you wanted to say.
Oh yeah, no, I was going to say I'm going to have Dr. O try this for one of his dogs because it. I wanted him to say, but hey, Dr. O, do you want to get at least your mic on so I can put you up here?
Do you know what kind of dog it is?
How was that?
What kind of dog is it?
Let me put him on here. You don't have to get on camera. Just your book.
Yeah. What?
Tell her about Peanut.
About my leg?
No, Peanut. What we want to do is the hair.
Well, Peanut's got alopecia X. So he's the black skin disease There's no known cause for it or fix for it. People have tried serotonin and a few other things. I've tried all sorts of spirulina and serotonin pills, and the only thing that seemed to work was this sulfur shampoo that brought it back briefly, but it really, really stunk and it got on everything. So, yeah, we'd
So
like
we're
to
gonna
try.
try it.
What breed? What breed and how old?
Bulldog.
He's a Pomeranian. He's actually really tiny for a Pomeranian. He's only about 6 pounds, and he's about 8 years old.
Dog super
Yeah.
sauce.
The super sauce. This is going to be your best bet.
So we see this a lot with especially French bulldogs.
Oh, yeah.
We see a lot of alopecia, and like you said, there's no cure for it. All you can do is just try to manage it as best as you can. And we have several dogs with alopecia that get on the dog super sauce, and within just a couple weeks, they're doing tremendously. They're doing so much better, and they're not getting all those flare-ups.
Yeah, I would definitely start super sauce right away and double up for the first week or so. This is a very affordable product. For most dogs and cats, it's less than $10 a month. I mean, that's the other thing that this company has done. We're on a mission, but we want it to be an affordable, realistic mission too for people.
Yeah.
Isn't that also good for joints?
Yes, it helps. It has glucosamine and carotene and chondroitin in it.
Yes.
Yeah,
So it has the mushroom.
a lot.
Yeah, it has the mushroom in it for that immune support. It has the glucosamine, chondroitin, keratin for the joint support, and it has a lot of extra skin emollients, which is going to help with the skin and coat. Those it's like a trifecta. Those three things together are amazing. This super sauce is called super sauce for a reason because it is super. I have a little Alabama lady that calls it awesome sauceum because it works so well on her little dog. But this is an amazing product for dogs and cats.
And you just add it like a gravy to their regular food?
Yeah, just like a tablespoon a day, mix it in with their food.
Some of them will eat it like a juice box. Squeeze it right in their mouth.
Right in their mouth.
What's really great about this mushroom is it's not like a cure for anything. It's not a medication. It's literally just a whole food that grows out on logs in nature. Mm-hmm. And so because it's a whole food, you can't get addicted. You can't overdose. There are no side effects. It doesn't interact with any medications or treatments. So especially when we have an animal or a person that's dealing with some health concerns, we always recommend start with extra, get as much into their system as you can right at the beginning. And then as their body starts to course correct and self-regulate, then you can kind of go down to just the regular daily amount.
You know, I'm reading some of the chat, and there's so many people that are just saying, you know, we never had cancer when our dogs were little, when we were little. But this one person said, Dr. Omega says, you know, we didn't have the dental issues that we have now. The dental issues are horrific. Dogs are losing teeth. And a lot of that is nutrition. A lot of that is, again, the junk that we're feeding.
Yep.
And so I want to talk about minerals real quick, if I can. You know, minerals are really important, and our animals out in the wild would be getting them naturally. They would be chewing on dead carcass bodies. They'd be chewing on a tree bark. They'd be chewing on rocks. They would be eating dirt. They would be doing things to get the minerals that their body needs. But in the domesticated situation, they're not always getting those minerals. So a lot of times you'll see an animal that is constantly digging or obsessed with rocks or constantly licking their paws. Now, if they're licking their paws and their paws smell like Fritos, it's a yeast infection. Very easy to fix. Just Google yeast infection. But if they don't smell like Fritos and they're constantly licking, they're pulling from the ground things that they picked up when they were outside. So you want to make sure that your dog has mineral support. Minerals support the coat, the skin, the organs, so many things, the bones. You can get that through natural shed antlers, and we have beautiful natural shed antlers. And I always have to have a joke at Kristen's expense. Kristen did not know that these fell off naturally, and she was absolutely shocked when she found that out.
I was born and raised in Las Vegas, so I didn't know much about anything outside of the city. And I was like, wait, they like fall off every year and grow new ones? And they were like, yeah.
My boy.
I think you thought we were ripping them off of year and elf.
I had no
so
idea.
They're all natural shed. and they are fabulous and beautiful. And the thing about antlers is that you've got to be careful. Again, like we talked about sourcing, a lot of the pet stores, they will bleach them to make them whiter. They will paint them.
Paint them with furniture stain to make them browner, to make them look like they're more fresh.
It's horrible. So this is an A or a B grade, and this is just split in half so that all of this beautiful marrow, which is filled with incredible mineral power for our animals. But animals that have been on a lot of drugs, their liver, their kidneys have been compromised, just like people. So if you give them a little extra mineral support, it will help support it. If you don't want to give antlers, we've baked them into a wonderful, tasty little biscuit called Bucky Bites, and they can take those. Again, you know, antler powder is really important. It's a really good thing for our animals, and especially those that have been compromised. And it just goes down to the thing that Kristen was saying. We want to keep our animals healthy. A lot of people wait too long to start their animals on supplements. When they're babies, they should be getting supplements because their bodies are growing and developing. And Bucky Bites are great to help with their bone development. The mushroom is great to help keep their immune system working properly while they're trying to grow. And it is really important that we don't just wait until they have a problem to start treating it. Be proactive, and be proactive naturally. And so, Kristen, if we can turn it over to you to talk about nutrition.
Yeah, because that's part of the reason why they're not getting all the minerals that they need and it's not our fault. It is what we're buying from the stores. A lot of it is minerally and nutritionally depleted. Unfortunately, 90% of the pet food brands and pet treat brands that we're all familiar with are made by only 3 manufacturers: Mars, Smuckers, and Nestle. What are all 3 of those companies known for? Candy, right? So that's why so many of our pets are getting diabetes, because there's sugars in the treats and the foods, which do nothing for our pets other than make them addicted. So they'll eat twice as much and then beg you for more. So we'll go buy twice as much. So it really is a sales tactic that they're using. And so we are trying to show people the importance of proper nutrition and why it's so important that we're getting all those minerals in their diets. You know, the number 1 recommended food by veterinarians is the number 1 most recalled food. And the number 1 selling food in the big box stores is the number 2 most recalled food. So people, we see this happening, but we don't realize that it's happening because of the stuff that we're being sold. And I am like the eternal optimist. So I don't want to say that these companies are doing this maliciously, like they're trying to hurt our pets. But over several decades, they've been taking shortcuts and exchanging quality ingredients for fillers. And that compounds over time. There's a great documentary called Pet Fooled, PETFOOLED, that takes a look into the food industry and what's been happening and how it's been so commercialized to the point where our pets can barely even process it with their bodies. So really, really important that they're getting proper nutrition. If you're wondering, how do I know if my pet's getting proper nutrition? Some signs that they're not getting the good nutritional balance that they need is sparse, dry, or dull hair. If their hair starts getting split ends on it, if it starts growing slower, they start to lose the speed. We see dry skin scales. We see pressure sores on their bodies. We see a loss of their hair and the hair color. Those are all signs that they're not getting the proper nutrition that they need. And another thing, make sure that whatever you're giving your pets is made with human grade whole foods and human grade kitchens, and that it adheres to the AAFCO standards. So a rule that we have is if it's not something that we're willing to eat ourselves or put in our own mouths, we don't give it to our pets. Like, that's how much you should trust the brand. And please stay away from like all these genetically modified things like corn and wheat and soy. Those should not be ingredients in anything that you're giving your pets.
Yeah.
So because
that's the first thing they do, is look at the label. And if the first thing it says on there is something fake, I'm like, nope.
That's right. And Dr. Omega, I'm going to interrupt for a second, talked about how hard antlers are and that animals can break teeth. Yes, they can. So if you have an aggressive chewer, you need to supervise this. And that's also why we came up with the Bucky Bites, because some aggressive chewers will actually just chew until they break their teeth, and we really don't want that. So this is something that many dogs have no issues with them, but some are aggressive chewers, and so that's why we have the Bucky Bites product. So, Kristen, can you talk a little bit about the kibbles and the dehydrated foods and things like that?
Yeah, a lot of the kibbles have fillers in it. People always ask me, how do I know if my pet food has fillers in it? Because they're getting clever, Maria. They're thinking of really smart things to call fillers that make us feel like it's actually healthy, like peas, beans, and lentils. Those are protein fillers that people don't know about. We think, oh, that sounds healthy. That's healthy for humans. It must be healthy for my pet. Well, it is. It's okay for your pet, but in very small volumes. They have a completely different caloric system than we have. So when they get these protein fillers in too high volumes, it stresses their bodies out. It's too nutritionally dense for them to digest, and it causes heart conditions like DCM. And a good thing you can do is look at your food and look at the first 5 ingredients. If you see any combination of peas or beans or lentils listed multiple times in those first 5 ingredients, that means there are fillers. And another way you can check to see if your food has fillers is just take a piece of kibble and drop it into a bowl of water. If the kibble expands, sometimes it'll swell up 2 to 3 times its normal size. That means there are fillers in it. So imagine what's happening inside of your pet's stomach when they eat their dry food and then they instantly chug their water to try to hydrate themselves. And all of that food's now expanding inside of their stomach. And it can be really uncomfortable for them. A lot of times they actually throw it up, or makes them sick or lethargic or bloated. So we want to make sure that we're giving them whole foods that don't have any of those fillers in it. So it's also more comfortable for them as they enjoy it. And unfortunately, 80% of us have our pets on a dry food diet because it's the most convenient and it's the most affordable. And so in response to that, our company did come up with a kibble that is much better. It's baked at half the temperature. So it's only baked at 200 degrees. So there's none of those carcinogens in it. That's what's in most of the kibbles, why 65% of our pets are getting cancer. And we also add like prebiotics to it and naturally sourced probiotics and taurine to help with the proper gut health and to give them energy. And so it's so much better for their systems and doesn't have any of the fillers. And we even made a freeze-dried food that we add the mineral-rich antler powder to and the immune-supporting Coriolis versicolor mushroom to as well. And that way it is closer to the optimal diet because it does retain 200% more nutrients than the kibble does. But of course, it's a more expensive process. So for people that want to get it into their systems, but maybe can't afford to do like a total meal replacement, it's good to use it like as a topper. And it also adds variety into their diets as well. But I can't even tell you what we're seeing as a result of the decisions that these manufacturers and these companies are making to lower the quality of the products that they're feeding us, all the way, or feeding our pets, not us, but all the way to the point where most of these foods are not even categorized as nutrition anymore. They're categorized as medicine because there's just so many chemicals and so much synthetic that it's not even considered food anymore.
And Dr. Omega, what you're talking about is that it was actually melamine that came from China. A lot of the pets food manufacturers were buying grain, thinking they were getting grain from China, and it ended up being melamine. When you watch the documentary Petful, they actually talk about it, and many animals suffered because of that. And like Kristen said, watch what they're saying when they say byproducts. It's
animal
meat,
byproducts.
Animal byproducts is actually the dead, dying, decaying, and diseased animals, roadkill, things that are not fit for human consumption. Yes. And that's what they're putting in the food when you see byproduct. So again, read the labels, learn, and just try to be very, very careful in what you're feeding. Yes.
And on that website, I'm so sorry to
no, it's okay.
On that website that you put up, mushlovepets.petclub247.com, there's actually a little button that you can click that says research. And there are several articles there that talk about kibble, that talk about what the researchers are saying about this mushroom. So people can look, and especially with the foods, there's a list there of ingredients to avoid in the foods that we're giving our pets. So I recommend going to the website and checking out those research articles. They can be really helpful for you.
I think a lot of this is surprising oh, I'm sorry.
I said we put a lot of stuff out there. I hope we
Oh,
don't.
no, it's good. And I think I was going to say the one thing that I think is blowing people's minds is a lot of what you're saying as far as like the symptoms of things. People have actually come to see that as normal. Oh, the cats always throw up. The dogs always throw up. My cat always has dandruff. And so they normalize it and they think it's just part of being an animal without realizing that it is not normal. You know, Mr. Miyagi, one of my cats who recently passed away from cancer, but Mr. Miyagi had dandruff towards the end, and he never had dandruff. And when I saw him getting dandruff, right away I said something's wrong. And then I knew because, you know, it's not just a normal thing, you know, so people need to realize that when their animal is doing something that may seem like it's common because they're an animal, it's really not normal.
Well, there's a reason for it, like you said. And normally the skin and coat are the first things that start to show it, because that's what the body gets up on first, because it's so busy fighting whatever else is going on. So you start noticing some difference in their skin and coat, man. You got to start saying, okay, something's going on with this animal. Let's see what we can do to help it.
Yeah. And if people really, really love their animals, and if you have one, you must love them. So you take care of them. And for me, they're my babies. That's why I was called Mr. Nothing the baby, because he's my baby. And so is Frumple and Sweetland as the rescues, and I take really good care of them. And so I want to give them the best diet as well, and do good for them all around. So I started researching things that I normalized, that I didn't think about so much. Everything from the food to supplements, and also what we talked about. I talked about on my last stream. Real quickly, I wanted to say, PJ might have gone to 999. He may be in his REM state right now, but I wanted to thank him for that $5 super chat as he's saying, these lovely babies, what great kids. So
I love that Orville Nation.
Yeah, that's PJ. Thank you very much for that. So thank you for that. And also, like all of a sudden everybody said, oh, Maria's on. We've got thank you to all the viewers. We've got about 585 people in here watching right now. So thank you all for dropping in. I know this time is odd, but thank you so much. And real quick, what else was I going to say? Oh, I'm trying to do this on my glasses. No wonder I can't see. I'm like, why can't I see? So what you see here, and I had announced it on Twitter before, but for those who hadn't seen it, this is why I was excited to start this pet shop. I call it Mush Love Pet.
Love that. It's perfect.
So proud.
So proud of that name. I woke up in the middle of the night going, what? I know what that is.
That's what she said. She said, I woke up in the middle of the night and I got it.
That's the best. That's always the best, most inspired moments.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was like, yeah. I was thinking about it as I was falling asleep. I'm like, I'll think about it later. And then I was like, I don't know. I was already dreaming of Lord knows what. And then I just woke up and I said, it's got to be this. So yeah, I was excited about that. And so for those of you who want to, please go there. And I wanted to bring up real quick, because we're about time, but I had mentioned this on the last stream, but need a reminder for these hot weathers to protect their paws. So those of you who didn't see last time, just a little reminder about protecting your paws in this hot pavement time, because it is hot out there and we want to protect them. Please don't leave any pets in the car. Cats, dogs, snakes, tarantula, I don't care what it is. Don't leave it in the heat. No garages, because if you don't want to go in it, they don't want to go in it. Okay. Same thing. If you don't want to eat it, they don't want to eat it. So if you don't want to be in there because it's hot, they don't either. Okay. Even indoors, please monitor yourself indoors. If you like it hot and sticky, that's fine if it's just you. But if you have a pet, keep in mind that is still affecting them as well. So I like to make sure to keep it cool in here for my fur babies because they get hot.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. That's so important. People don't realize if it's too hot for you to walk with your own bare feet or even to put your palm on, it's too hot for their feet.
Yeah, I will probably be shot dead someday for screaming at somebody that I see walking a dog and yelling at them to kick off their shoes and walk themselves in their bare feet when it's 120, because it just makes me crazy that people do that.
I know. And I was so, I hate to say this, but I was so glad to hear that Colorado is a state where if I see a senior, an infant, an animal in a hot car, I have the right to do something about it as far as crack the window.
Yeah.
I was so glad because even if it wasn't though, I can't sit there and stand by and be like, oh, well, I can't do that. I'm going to do something, but check your state and see that you have the right to do that to get them out of that situation. And something that people had learned last time that you'd mentioned before too, when they are overheated as well, you don't want to pour cold ice water.
No ice cubes, no ice water.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And somebody just asked about the pink toes. All of their feet are about the same. Whether they're, but then lighter skinned dogs, white skinned dogs are more sensitive to getting sunburned. But the dark skinned dogs can get sunburned also. You just can't see it. So be careful with all of them. Treat them all the same.
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, I'm watching him because he's wagging his tail. The baby must have seen something outside his tail, and he's going to knock over my plant. But anyway, well, we're about wrapped up there. I'm so glad to have this conversation. Some of it is and should be common sense, but unfortunately, it's not. We have to remind people from everything, even feeding them. I think sometimes that how should I say this? Some generations grew up where they didn't have all of this information. So they just, whatever leftovers they had in the house, they would just give them to their animals. And so they had beans and rice. Guess what? Fido's eating beans and rice with you. So they kind of didn't have that, education on that kind of thing. And I grew up in the country. I'm a country girl, and we grew up with the animals and we were outside and everything. But even then, we were careful about what we gave them because we knew that it would affect them in some way. We were like, I don't want a vet bill. So I mean,
then the foods were a little healthier. They weren't as processed.
A lot healthier.
So it's almost as if you were feeding raw back then. So don't beat yourself up over that because it actually wasn't so bad. Now it's really bad. Don't give them your cereal in the morning. Don't give them, your hamburger or any of that stuff like that. Your bread. Don't give them that.
Yeah, absolutely. And he says here, you're reminding me of one out of 1,000 reasons why I'm unable to care for a dog or a cat. But you know what? That is honest. There's nothing that bothers me more than somebody who says, oh, I want a dog or a cat just to have one.
Take care of them.
They won't take care of them. If you know you can't, then you can't. Go to your neighbors and pet them until you can't and then leave. Just don't take them with you, but yes.
Yeah.
But here's another something you gave me to share with everybody, the travel checklist.
We're traveling with our dogs in the summer, and this is a great list for you to review about what you need to take with you, what you need to have, how to keep them safe, how to keep them happy, how to keep them, not getting in an accident and having them ejected from the car by using a tether. So there's a great travel checklist there that you can take a look at. And when you're out there or getting ready to go on a trip, just go through that checklist and make sure you have all those items for your pup or your cat or your lizard or your bird.
Or your chicken.
Yeah, whatever you travel with.
Whatever suits your fancy. I used to have a rat.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Girls love the mojos.
Oh, yeah. And they love our critter chews. We have little critter chews for mice and rats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had a rabbit too. Monique. She was sweet. But yes, we have pets of all kinds. So whenever I talk about pets, it's of all kinds. And I think that this would be great for not just the cats and dogs, but pets in general. So your horses and your goats and all, whatever. So I think it would be good all around because mushrooms have been used for many generations for healing, and nature gave them to us. So let's use them up, shall we? But I don't want to keep you ladies much longer because you have given me your time. But I am so excited that you did because I love this.
Oh, we'll do it again. It'll be a lot of fun.
I hope so. I'm excited about it, and I'm going to turn my AC back on.
Yeah.
Oh, and we'll end on one thing. We do have mushroom coffee. It is the most delicious coffee you have ever had. It's fresh ground and roasted within a week of you ordering, and we do have the Coriel's Roast Cola in it. So if you're a coffee drinker, check out the mushroom coffee on the storefront. It's pretty amazing.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'd love to. I have incorporated mushroom into some aspect of my regimen, my daily regimen, and I have definitely noticed the difference. So I thought I was going to need knee surgery, but I won't. It's still healing a little bit, but I don't need to have the surgery. But I wish this was around when I was dying of diverticulitis. That's all right. I have it now. So guys, go to the store link and get your pets on them, get you on them. Try some coffee, do whatever. And we'll be back again to talk about that. But I'm excited. Thank you for helping me introduce.
Thank you.
Mush Love Pets. Go there just because of the name. I mean, come on.
It is a good
I
name.
woke up in the middle of the night for you guys to do this. But I'm going to go to yours to get those t-shirts because every time I've seen you, you have awesome t-shirts. So
Oh
Yeah.
Change the world.
that would
Yeah.
be it.
We also have one that says, my pet is on mushrooms. Is yours?
You had last time, and I was like, I want that t-shirt. That too. So, oh my goodness, you guys! Thank you so much for staying with me, and all of you viewers. We still have about 400 people in here, but I don't want to keep anybody too long today. But y'all have been so awesome. Thank you for joining me here. And let me make sure nobody has any questions. And we got so excited, guys. I didn't ask if anybody had any questions, but really quick.
We've been watching most of them. So I think we tried to grab them when they came up.
Okay, good. I was trying to watch too, but some of the chat went by a little too fast. But yes, thank you so much for joining. Probably my cue when my voice is starting to give out that Maria's talking too much. Go. Yes, here we go, guys. Mush Love Pets, go, and hope to see you there. Thank you all for joining me, and we will be back live again hopefully soon. Got some great stuff coming, some great people coming, so make sure you stay tuned for what's coming next time. It's gonna be fun. Thank you for joining me. Have such a great day.
Thank you, Maria.
Bye. Thank you.
Get to my, where's my exit?
Wanna leave this town. I'm saying, love her if you wanna go, I'm down. Darling, we'll make the biggest thing.